Amalia's origin story is revealed. A long-awaited reunion crystallizes the Orphans' mission. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing The Nevers, Episode 6, Part 1. So last week, we see that Amalia and Penance made plans of their own and followed through with them, and they divided the orphanage. Some went with Amalia to find the Galinthi, and some went with Penance to help with Melody's hanging. So we saw that it was really kind of divided, and it was a little unequal too last week. And the ending of last week's episode leads into the beginning. And when I mean beginning, I mean we begin at the very end and we get Amalia's origin story finally. And what a crazy origin story this was. I actually liked the opening scenes in this. The origin story was crazy, and it was amazing looking. Everything that happened in it, and I don't want to do any spoilers if anybody hasn't seen this episode yet. It was really good. The effects were great. The plot that we get, like the story that we get, is really kind of fleshed out, and it's really well done. You know, like we finally see why the Galinthi came to Victorian London, and like all the events leading up to that. And this week's episode is organized into 4 chapters as well. So we get chapter 1, which is Amalia's origin story. Then we keep going into chapter 2 through 4. And in chapter 3, we really learn more about Dr. Hugh, Melody, and Amalia, and where they met, really. Like, where every one of them met. And more importantly, though, we see what Amalia did to Melody that was her betrayal of Melody. Because they talk about it in 2 or 3 episodes back. I think it's episode 3. 2 or 3, I think it is, where they really, Melody brings it up to Amalia. And we really get to see, like, all of that. And then we see Miss Bidlow pluck Amalia out of where she was. And she gives her a mission to start gathering the touched to her in this orphanage. And we really get to see why that is as well, which I thought was really good. Really well done. And in chapter 4, we get a montage and a recap of the whole entire season. And part of the montage we get is where it kind of stops, is where we see it's between Amalia and Penance, and they're talking throughout it. So I really thought that was also pretty good. And we also get to hear a voice tell Amalia something that really hints at things to come in the second half of this season. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to what's going to happen. The ending, on the other hand, of this, again, is the ending from episode 5. But it just goes into a little more in-depth stuff, and it's supposed to be a cliffhanger, but it kind of was, for me, like a little bit of a letdown. When after everything was ended and then the credits started rolling, I was like, wait, that's it? I was like, I kind of laughed. It was kind of funny, but it wasn't as good as some of the other cliffhangers that we've gotten in this season. In these first 6 episodes. So I kind of thought it was a little weak, a little bit of a letdown. But the sets and the effects in this were great this week. I mean, we see more of the Galinthi than we've ever actually seen. And the origin story alone was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it really was. It was fantastic. So we really get a lot of good effects in this. And the acting in this, I thought, was really well done, especially for the origin story. Like, I did not see that origin story coming at all. And everybody we meet in it was actually like fantastic too. Throughout, like, this was more again about Amalia in this episode, as you see, like, as it goes through, and she did a fantastic job, including with the emotions. As you see, like in this picture here, she's very emotional, you know, but like, all of it was really, really well done for the acting. So this episode shows us Amalia's and Melody's origin stories. Not so much Melody's, but a little bit of it, like the start of her origin story. So I thought that was really well done. It also recaps the whole season. I don't think we really needed that per se, but it still wasn't a really bad montage at all. But it kind of recapped, but then there was certain points where it did elaborate a little more. So again, that's not a bad thing, but I don't really think we needed it since we've already seen the episodes, you know. I think they could have done a little bit differently with that and got a little bit better of a cliffhanger too. Other than that, though, I would give this episode at least an 8.5. I mean, again, just this origin story alone and the events leading up to the event in Victorian London where the touch came to be was actually fantastic. Overall, I would give this season at least an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I'm leaning more towards the 8.5 because there were some episodes that, again, weren't as good as some of the other ones. But overall, this has been a very good show. It's been a consistent show overall, which is what you really want to have for a show, and you want it to build up to a really good ending. So this ending was, for this half of the season, was kind of a letdown again. But overall, yeah, 8.5 for the episode, 8.5, 9 out of 10 for this season 1. Part 1 of season 1. So leave a comment down below too. Let me know what you thought about this episode, and let me know what you thought about part 1 of season 1. And please like if you like what I do, and subscribe, as I'll be doing more I'll be doing more stuff each week. Take care for now, everybody.